Jennifer. How are you doing?
I am fantastic, Christy. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Oh my gosh, it's such a pleasure to have you back on Up Your Tile Game. There's so much going on, so much to talk about. It's been a few months. I can't believe it's already September. Last we saw each other was May.
Yes, we were at Coverings, which was an amazing show. And we did all sorts of big activations and
Hmm.
exhibits and events. And so it was really fantastic. And you're right,
Yeah.
all this September, I don't know what happened.
I know. So, yeah, so here we are, and I'm just excited to have you on the show because, I just want to hear some more updates of what's going on. But again, I know we were kind of focused on coverings and a few other items while we're there at the show. But now I just kind of want to do more of a holistic introduction of you to the audience. And, we'll start, just basically talking about you as an interior designer, as a TV host, as a style influencer, and your company and all you do. So I'll let you just take it away, Jennifer.
Well, hello, I'm Jennifer Farrell. Okay, so I do actually have a few different parts of my world and my brand. I have been in business as an interior designer for coming up on 25 years. We are shortly going to be hitting our 25-year anniversary. My
Wow.
company, Jennifer Farrell Designs, is an award-winning interior design firm based in Southern California, but we have done projects all over the world. So my business on that side is a classic interior design business.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have my television side of my world. I've been hosting and designing on TV shows for 22 years at this point.
Wow.
Shocking. I'm only 24. How did that happen?
How could that
Uh,
be?
no idea. And so I am on television right now every single day of the year. So you can turn on your TV anytime and I'll be waving at you from some beautiful home somewhere. So that part of my business is about television, public appearances, sort of my public figure side.
Mm-hmm.
And then where those two sides of my triangle meet is at the apex, which is with brand partnerships.
Mm-hmm.
And I've really cultivated a unique way of forming those brand partnerships to support brands like the Tile Doctor and like
Mm-hmm.
Litokol and Star like Evo, brands that are across all sectors of the home and design build community.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, I have product collections where I design products and lines for different brands like Ems or Tile, like
Right.
Global News. Then I also have my brand ambassadorships and those kinds of collaborations, spokesperson relationships, and I create these show home experiences where I
Mm-hmm.
bring all of my brands together and I showcase them in a Jennifer Farrell design so
Yes.
that you can experience from all around the world in multimedia, multi platform, what the finest of those products and materials look like in a fully realized world that is one of my visions. So that's sort of the three parts of my last 25 years in a nutshell.
Wow, that's such a perfect way to describe that. I love that. Like, and you were talking about that before as far as like, the I.C.E.House is the current one that you're doing right now. It's like a showcase for all of that to come together. Is that correct?
That is true. I'm actually sitting here in the south of France right now. This is not a CG wall. This is an actual stone wall. I am at I.C.E.House, which is ICE, Interconnected Changeable Environments.
Mm-hmm.
And the project that we're creating here is I'm transforming these three historic stone farmhouses into my vision of the adaptable, changeable, sustainable home of the future.
Yeah.
And the project has three different spaces. ICE, I is Indie House, C is Center House, E is Extension House. And they're all connected together with these open air breezeways that can be enclosed in glass to become rooms in themselves. So this is about multi-structure adaptable living.
Mm-hmm.
And the aesthetic that we're creating here is very ancient meets very modern. The
Yeah.
way that is translating in terms of materials and products and brands is that we're seeing this real movement right now about the global culture of design. And that is sort of physically translating in terms of materials that have a feeling of artisanry, of hand
Mm-hmm.
craftsmanship, of heritage, of heirloom quality.
Yeah.
So these are key words that we're hearing across all sectors of all markets. And so here at I.C.E.House, I'm bringing my brand partners together and showcasing the finest of their wares in this ancient meets modern, sustainable, multi-structural vision of the home of the future. And then we will continue on a marketing reveal and journey of the project across magazines and podcasts and
Mm-hmm.
live events and trade shows and media reveals and releases and newsletters. And it all culminates then with a VIP reveal party here in the south of France when we bring in our celebrity designers and our A-listers and our brand partners and all the media and press to reveal the home.
Wow, that's just so exciting. Where are you in your in the process right now, Jennifer?
So we have been working on the exterior of the project because, as I said, there are three different buildings and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of exterior work needed completing. Like we needed to replace all of our doors and our windows and build those breezeways,
Mm-hmm.
transform. One of the breezeways will be transformed into our entertainer's kitchen because we're actually telling this 60-year journey through time of how the experience of I.C.E.House could unfold from living there in your 20s to your 80s, and we're
Mm.
going to capture a moment in time in year 40 when we actually reveal the project. And in that capture, our what was an open air breezeway has now been enclosed in glass to become the entertainer's kitchen. So all of that exterior work is what we've been doing leading up to now, and then it's officially September 2nd. So
Yeah.
we are starting the interior remodel on Extension House this month. So
My
it's
goodness.
happening for real.
I love that. Wow. Ever since you started talking about this, it was just like my mind was blown with the concept. And so now I'm just so excited, to be able to start to see the things that you guys are doing because it's such an undertaking. And, just to get this vision off the ground is just very exciting. It's got to be, for you. I mean, it's exciting as someone from the outside looking at it. So,
Well, it is exciting, and we really say a lot of times it takes a village. It is literally taking a village here because we're bringing in a global village. We have
yeah.
brands from all over the world. We have local artisans. We have contributors from the US, from Europe. It is really taking a full village to create this project. And
Mm-hmm.
it is very exciting. And, I feel like I learned something new really every day. But
Yes.
I let's hope I do. But I'm really learning so much about different ways that people around the world operate in
Mm.
terms of business, in terms of communication. I thought I knew that because I live in Los Angeles and it's sort of a melting pot of the world. But being here in France has been a good educational experience for me because
Mm-hmm.
it's helping me to learn that there are different ways to operate and different ways to communicate and different schedules and rhythms than what I'm used to in the United States, where, we're on the go all the time and we work 7 days a week. And so I'm still doing that here, but it's not really the way here. And it's
Mm-hmm.
teaching me about things that are actually more important. And
Mm.
I'm really embracing that while still trying to deliver on our deadlines.
I remember you mentioning like part of this building this type of project is honoring that extended family kind of journey too. And that seems like that, has roots there, in Europe.
We've made a lot of friends since I've been here because I'm definitely in France more than I am in the US right now. And
Yeah.
so I'm getting to know people. I've made friends here. I just went to a 12-year-old's birthday party that went on for 12 hours
Oh my
and
gosh.
had people from age 5 to 85. It was
Wow.
literally 4 generations, and everyone there was family except for me. I was the only, my husband and I were there, and
Uh,
my husband and I were the only people there that weren't related to each other. And
mm,
this was a crowd of 30 people, 4 generations. And I thought, how interesting that is. So not the birthday party rhythm that we have in the
Mm-mm.
US. And the importance of family time, the importance of bonding with the
Mm-hmm.
people in your life. And I mean, really bonding. I'm
Yeah.
watching a party where, this 12-year-old is spending real quality time talking with someone in their 60s. And the generational gap is not something that they shy away from. It's more leaning into it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really very interesting. And so creating this project here really makes so much sense because I'm telling an authentic story here.
Yes, yeah, it fits it very well. And it is interesting. I do get like how that just embeds so much more into people to have those kinds of exchanges with people of all different ages. Um, you were talking a lot about, and I know this is such a dear thing to your heart, and that is um, just the sustainability aspect of things. So I just wanted to kind of bring that up again for you to just share kind of your philosophies and your thoughts on that.
Well, it's interesting to be in buildings that have been around for a very long time. And especially here on the property, there's actually an old windmill. So it's this big
Mm.
stone tower that it no longer has its paddles because they were burned down in the French Revolution. But
Oh my gosh.
the the structure itself is hundreds and hundreds of years old. And, to see pieces of history here where this village that we're just outside of is called Sauveterre de Guyenne.
Hmm.
And it was built in the year 1281 by King
Gosh.
Edward the First. The You look around and you see buildings here that are 5, 6, 7, 800 years old, and they're still there. So
Hmm.
sustainability in architecture is something that is ingrained in France. It is ingrained in Europe, where
Hmm.
they're not tearing down a home that's 100 years old. That's a brand new house here. And so just the concept of sustainable architecture is part of their ingrained story.
Hmm.
To layer on top of that, we're building sustainability as an off the grid capable property with, we have wells here, we have water, underground water storage here. We're building in solar power, we're building wind power.
Mm.
We'll even have a vegetable garden and food garden. So, and we're surrounded by vineyards, so there's always wine.
There's that.
So yeah, so we're creating this as a fully off the grid capable, self sustaining home. That also means, in terms of products, that we're thinking consciously about the products that are going into the home. And
Hmm.
the brands that I partnered with are very, very responsible in their sourcing, they're responsible in their manufacturing.
Yeah.
They're responsible in their disposal process.
Hmm.
They're really there's a real movement now not to be flippant about the words eco-friendly or sustainable, that
Hmm.
those are now the core values and not the fringe values. Um,
Yes.
like I'm actually looking at all my beautiful products. I'm surrounded by
Oh,
gorgeous
neat.
right now. And with Litokol, it's non-toxic installation products. Like this is
Yeah.
where we have to think about like what's under the tile that we love. The tile is not really off-gassing and doing anything bad. It's what's underneath it that could be toxic. And
Right.
so, we're thinking, the brands I'm working with are thinking about how do we keep the planet healthy? How do we
Hmm.
keep our homeowners healthy? How do we keep our employees healthy? How do we keep the environment we're creating healthy? Silestone, one of the products that we're putting in is from Cosentino, and they are our services partner for our
Yeah.
natural engineered stone. And this is their Parisian blue silestone, and it's the first low silica hybrid material. And
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah, so they're actually consciously thinking about keeping companies healthy, keeping employees healthy, keeping homeowners healthy. My fabulous, I don't even know if I'm allowed to show this yet because it's a brand new book.
No, I
But
love it. Yeah, please show it because we're trying to
neat,
introduce
neat.
it.
Yes, so this is our new Starlight collection from Litokol, and this has been specially curated with some colors that you will see show up and don't tell anybody from your side of the world that I'm showing this because I don't think it's been released yet. But these beautifully curated colors are many of the
Mm,
ones that are going to be here at I.C.E.House,
that is so
because
exciting.
we're looking at some colors that are very warm, very earthy. You can see like there's even this beautiful terracotta color
I
here,
love
and
that.
have our my terracotta tile that
Oh,
is
yeah.
part of my livable luxury collection. This is Ecclesi from Emser Tile. And so we're layering all of these different beautiful materials together, all in a way that the colors are curated, the materials have that feeling of hand craftsmanship and artisanry and heirloom pieces, and
Yeah,
they're all being created with a mind towards sustainability.
absolutely. And I think that we're waking up to the fact that, you know, production of certain things, construction materials and what have you, in the past, maybe you couldn't get away from it easily, not these toxic items. But now that we've got these ways to do that, it's like you had said before, it's a must now. It's no longer, well, if we can, no, it's just like it's a must now. And I think that's just, such a wonderful way to keep that moving and that synergy so that we are taking care of everybody in the planet and our environment and all of that. But then with such beauty on top of it.
With beauty on top of it. And,
Yeah.
speaking of beauty and responsibility and sustainability all together, another thing I'm learning here in France is about the diligence with which they recycle materials.
Mm.
So there is trash pickup once every other week,
Mhm.
not every week, the way that we do in the States.
Mhm.
And you have one very small trash bin, and then you have a larger recycle bin, and then you take your glass to a separate location because it's all glass. And so you're forced, even just as a residential homeowner, to think about your garbage, to
Mhm.
think about, where does my trash go? I know where my glass goes because I actually take it to the glass bin there in the village.
Wow.
When we are demoing this house, we actually got a really good friend now who, his job is to take demo tile.
Mhm.
He takes it in his bins and then it gets crushed and recycled.
Oh,
So instead of
nice.
everything just going into a dumpster and off to the landfill, that's not how they operate here. So I'm actually learning some really good um, practices and skill sets that I'm going to be able to take back to the US with me.
I love that. It's so interesting because when you have to be mindful about that, right? There's the feeling that just came up for me is this almost like a pride that you are doing your part to contribute to making things more sustainable. I mean, it just feels good when you actually do that and you take time out of your life to go and and recycle this glass, which it always seems so weird to me to just throw that into the earth. It's because it's such a real, you know, produced product that it seems odd to throw it away. So that's
Well,
really
it doesn't
beautiful.
happen here. They're very mindful, and I am, as someone who has been speaking about sustainability and eco consciousness for almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
As someone who has been walking that talk, I was the kid in high school when I was waiting tables. I started a recycling program at the restaurant, and they never heard of
Oh.
taking the bottles to a recycling place. They just threw everything in the trash. And so, as someone who has been passionate about being eco-conscious most of my life,
Mhm.
to see the way that so many practices are done here as the baseline, not as oh, maybe I'll recycle that. They really do that consciousness as a baseline here. So that I'm really appreciating.
I love how they just built that in. It's like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is going to be part of your routine.
Exactly.
That's a beautiful way to look at it. Well, I was just going to ask you about, when you found out, of course, I just have to put a little spotlight on the Litokol Starlight. I love hearing people's feedback about this. But when you found out about that product, what were your thoughts? What came to mind for you?
Well, we got a few products that you just hit on. So different thoughts because One of the things I love, as we've sort of mentioned, is that Litokol's focus is on health. Their focus is on non toxicity. And I don't really know that that would be common language in the installation products universe. It's almost counter intuitive to what we're used to. And so the way that the company actually thinks about materials, besides the fact that they're the best materials in the industry and work
Mm,
and perform the best, the fact that they're really thinking about what it is they're putting in someone's home. Like there's going to be
hmm.
a baby crawling on that floor, and
Yeah.
what is under that tile could change that baby's life. And they're thinking about that. And so that got me very excited about Litokol. I have to say, with Starlight Evo, the thing that excites me the most, there's actually two things that excite me the most. Its resistance to mold and mildew
Yeah.
because of the way it is actually made. And as you know, it is not a dry bag of powder.
Mm-mm.
So that epoxy bond has proprietary techniques in it that keep it from growing mold and mildew. And so for me, that is a fantasy. That is a reality, but it is a fantasy. The other thing is the range of colors is just sort of out of this world and exceptional and uncommon. I mean, there's a whole line of metallic grouts that are gorgeous. Yeah, which you will see here because actually so my Metamor tile collection, I don't know if you can
I
see
love that.
here.
It's so pretty.
Thank you. So this is with Emser tile, and it has flecks of metallic copper patina
Yes.
in all of the tile. And to be able to then pair that with a metallic grout, which there is actually metallic copper in the Starlight Evo line, um, that's something that is just sort of out of this world exceptional. And it is to me, and you have heard me say this many times, and I will continue to say it, grout tells the tile story.
Mm,
So you do not pick grout at the end of the run. You pick
mm-mm.
grout as you're designing your space, as you're designing the tile, as you're laying the tile out, you pick the grout then, and you work with your installer to understand which grout needs to be specified because it is complicated, especially if you're not an installer. You may not know the difference in types of grout.
True.
A lot of people don't even know, like, what does sanded mean versus non-sanded? What is an epoxy versus a dry? These are things that you don't have to know. Ask your installer, ask the tile doctor. You can learn these pieces of information,
True.
but selecting the color and what your grout is going to be, that's going to inform the tile story. I mean, if you look at, all right, so here we've got one of my tiles. This is a sort of black color. This
Mm-hmm.
is from Metamor as well. So with those copper fleckings and this beautiful black tone, if I then do a copper metallic grout, it's going to look completely different than if I did a taupe grout.
Yes.
It would look completely different than if I went with a black grout. We're able to tell a totally different story with the same tile based on the grout.
So true. And I love the way you describe that because it is interesting how I think this is also coming to the forefront a little bit more that grout isn't an afterthought, and that I love how you're sharing that and teaching that really because you're helping people inform them like, if I'm going to go to the trouble to retile or install a new tile, if like a new dwelling, I really want to have exactly what I want and
Mhm.
that there are choices out there that I didn't even know existed, and now I'm learning about this. That's an incredible thing to share because, again, it's not an afterthought now. It is literally informing, like you said, your tile story.
It is informing the tile story.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. I love that. And I can't wait to get that messaging out there more because it is such an exciting option, just all the way around the colors, the sustainability aspect, just the built-in health regard aspect too is just so awesome. So we're just excited that we're part of your journey with I.C.E.House with those products and that we could connect in that way. We're just so pleased to be a part of it.
Well, Christy, thrills me that you are a part of this. That Litokol with Starlight Evo, the Tile Doctor. I love having you as part of this journey because this is really why I create these show homes, why I'm creating Ice
Mm-hmm.
House, is to show each of these brands at really my version of their penultimate, to really be able to say, wow, I knew we made beautiful tile. Who knew it could look like that?
Yeah.
I knew we made great grout colors. To see it in this world is so incredible. I'm going to reference this again. And this is where, like, I have this opportunity to showcase these products in a way that maybe no one ever thought of before. That may
Mm-hmm.
sound arrogant. I don't mean it arrogant, but I do mean it to be true in that this is that beautiful silestone Parisian blue. It
Mm-hmm.
has these gorgeous copper flecks running through the veining. It is a tonal compatibility between
Mm-hmm.
my tile here with Metamore with the copper flecking, and I don't know if you
Yes.
can tell on this screen,
I can
but
see it. Yeah.
these are literally tone on tone.
Mm-hmm.
And these brands didn't know that. This was something that I discovered as I was exploring their materials. And when I realized, oh my goodness, look at the way these two complement each other with the same material. And then I
That's
can
so
bring
cool.
in Grout from Starlight Evo that can complement that copper metallic veining that's in both of these and create this beautiful tonal space. So it's really wonderful to have the opportunity to showcase brands in ways that maybe even they didn't know were possible.
Yes, I agree with that. And you bring in all these different worlds together in this project, which is going to be so wonderful. Is
Me
there
too.
anything else you wanted to share today about like just your journey in general or the project you're currently working on right now?
Well, my journey continues to be an exciting one. I'm having a wonderful time with Emser Tile and my
Mm.
tile collections. Just today, I got an email from a designer sending me her renderings, showing me these incredible spaces she was designing with my Metamore tile. She's doing a whole
Oh,
pool and
wow.
waterfall and this bathroom and all this gorgeous spaces. And for me, that's really exciting to get to be a part of creating products that then will live on, hopefully, long
Oh,
after.
yeah.
Let's see, we're September 1st. So in about 6 weeks, I will be at High Point because my Jennifer Farrell for Global Views collection is unveiling its first
Oh,
series at Fall High Point. So I'm really excited about that. I'm speaking at Design Edge September 18th, which is in Orange County in California. And so I'm excited to get to connect with all the designers that come to that and be at High Point and connect with tens of thousands of designers
mm,
across all the different speaking engagements and appearances I'm doing. And so there's a lot I'm excited about this year.
wonderful. Well, we'll look forward to that and, put that message out when we post this as well. So that's awesome. Well, you know what? Thank you so much for taking time because I know you've got so much going on. You're a busy lady, Jennifer, but we really appreciate it and just coming on and sharing what's going on with your journey in I.C.E.House and just, more about you in general that we want to share on our podcast. Oh, one other thing I just wanted to add. Tell us one thing you feel like just recently that you feel like has happened that's upping your tile game.
One thing that's happening that's upping my tile game is being inspired by new collections that I'm seeing coming out of
Mm,
Emser. Emser Tile has this incredible E by Emser series, and I'm blown away with
mm,
the creativity from the artisans and designers that have started assembling these pieces. And they keep coming up with these things. I'm like, how do they think of that? They're just miraculous and interesting and innovative. And they just constantly are surprising me with tile, and some of which is finding its way to I.C.E.House. There's
lovely.
a collection called Martell that really just blew me away and elevated my tile game.
Wonderful. I'm gonna have to check that out. So awesome. Well, again, Jennifer, thanks so much for joining us today.
Well, it has been wonderful to be here. Great talking to you, Christy.